can you imagine if Jonas hadn't crashed in April and we had a full fit Jonas here going for Tour de France number 3?
Yeah.
Even if that was the greatest performance today by Pogacar, can you imagine? I actually think Jonas would have beat Pogacar in this Tour.
I agree. I think 100% Jonas and 100% Pogacar. Jonas comes out on top.
Yeah,
agreed.
100%.
Wow. Yeah.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Move podcast, brought to you each and every day by Ketone IQ. Hey, stick around to the end of the show. We've got Michael Brandt, the CEO of Ketone IQ. We get a lot of questions about ketones, and obviously we talk about a lot about it. The Peloton uses it a lot, but he's going to come on and answer some of these questions. So stick around for that.
We had Bradley break the record for the most ketones in
Bradley
1 hour yesterday.
Yep.
5
ketones.
Jesus.
Don't do this at home, kids.
Talking about stage 15. Alain, where did we start and where did we finish?
Okay, stage 15. From Loudanvieille to Plateau de Beille.
There he is, the man in the flesh. Alain.
He's real.
He's real. He lives. Huh? Look at, by the way, happy Bastille Day.
Merci.
And for those folks who don't know, that's like France's 4th of July.
Indeed.
All right. Yeah, pretty cool. Also, we have another French person on set.
I know we're taking over.
Melanie Hincapie's here. If you don't mind, I'll continue to look this way. So there's a better view over here. Okay?
Oui.
Look, Tadej Pogacar, what are you going to do? Well, I guess the question is, what are we going to do the last week? I mean, I think today sealed it. And we're going to talk about later in the show just how exceptional the performance was. It is totally mind-blowing.
Yes.
The speeds, the watts, how that compares to different generations. It's kind of like you have to look again and say, I didn't read that right.
Yeah, I mean, huge weekends of sports. I mean, 2 huge mountain stages in Tour de France. Alcaraz wins Wimbledon. I can never say that word, but he wins it. What else? Colombia's playing Argentina tonight at 6 p.m., which we're going to be all together at, hopefully. What else am I missing? Oh, wait, the Aspen City Golf Championships. Apparently, the boss here is qualified to the final round.
Yep, match play. It's
very excited about this.
It's a bracket. So you got
a bracket. I talked to a bunch of the locals how it's a super community event. You go to the match play. You share golf carts. But you don't like sharing, right? Like you have your own golf cart. How's that work?
Why? Well, I shouldn't even answer these questions.
You mentioned to me this morning how
was a super nice fella. But yeah, I mean, I'd rather stay in my zone. And
so you have your own golf cart for the
I was hoping
City Community Championships.
I was hoping somebody from my family would come out and ride along and cheer for me, but it worked out. I got to ride by myself. My favorite person. But the biggest realization, and I promise you we'll get to stage 15 in a second. Biggest realization for me yesterday was that I need a sports psychologist.
You said this last night, didn't you?
I know, but would you ever have imagined that I would have said, I always look at people with sports psychologists, I'm like, what is wrong with you? And after yesterday, I said, I think I need a sports psychologist. I won the first 3 holes. I'm like, through 9, I was up 4. I was like, I got this. And then I fell apart. I just started falling asleep, falling apart. And this fellow, Paul, his name's Paul, he started coming back on me. And I had this conversation with myself, and I said, come on, man, wake up. Like you're Lance Armstrong. We're on Peacock.
You know what
so
you're
I
missing.
Can't say bad words.
You know what you're missing. Lance Armstrong needs the suffering, the pain. Yeah. You don't get suffering and pain from golf.
Riding around in that golf cart. But anyways, I closed him out on 16. Is again, kudos to him for coming back on me. And super nice guy. Owns a local bike shop here in Aspen.
George, you forgot England are playing Spain in the Euro finals.
That's right. I knew. I forgot something. They're playing at 2 p.m. right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll go watch that after our Hollywood premiere.
We have a lot of soccer, a lot of my favorite sports, and I cannot wait.
France didn't make it.
Today's show brought to you by Zwift. It is Bastille Day, but it's not just a day to celebrate if you're French, because Zwift's new smart bike, Zwift Ride, is on sale in the US, UK, Canada, Australia, and the EU. This is great news for you listeners because we know you're an international crowd, so whether you're in New York, London, or Sydney, you're able to get your hands on this game-changing smart bike. Zwift Ride is packed full of features that will help you get the most out of Zwift and riding indoors. So head on over to Zwift, TheMove.com now to learn more and start your indoor journey. Also today brought to you by Roka. They have changed the game when it comes to glasses, right? Chillin' glasses. Look, I even brought these today. I haven't worn these on set. These are the Havanas. Look at these babies. Oh my God. These are tight. I got the Havanas. I got the Banderas. So whether it's casual glasses, whether it's performance glasses, or the reading glasses, they all come with the same technology. They got the nice hinge. They got the no-slip earpieces. The lens is the highest quality lens on the market, scratch-resistant, fog-resistant, and crystal clear. And based in our hometown of Austin, Texas. Pretty amazing. The Move listeners get 20% off. Just go to Roka, ROKA.com, Roka.com. Use the code THEMOVE at checkout. Also today brought to you by Ekoi. Ekoi is a leading brand in Europe specializing in cycling equipment from head to toe. It's one of the few brands that actually develops their products in conjunction with their top athletes across all these disciplines like road cycling, triathlon, gravel, and mountain bike. It is the most represented brand in the Tour de France. Right? You've got Israel Premier Tech, Lotto Destiny, Arkea, and Team Cofidis. Also Carlos Rodriguez, who we saw a little bit of today, rocking the shoes. So why choose Ekoi helmets or shoes? That's because unbeatable value for all that for the money. Head on over to Ekoi.com. Their whole product line is direct to consumer. The whole product line is on ekoi.com. That's EKOI.com. And use the code THEMOVE. That gets you $15 off any purchase of $150. Ekoi.com. And that's until the end of July. You've been seeing those helmets George and I wearing.
Yep, love them.
Dude, I can't even watch them. I can't watch the race anymore with some of these helmets I got out there.
Yeah.
So good.
Speaking of the race,
let's talk about the race.
Visma Lease A Bike tried to call a sort of a Babe Ruth moment. It was well known within the Peloton that they were going to go full gas from the start up to 7 kilometer. What is it, 8-9% Perisword? We've all done it. We've all suffered on that climb. You can't imagine a tougher start to a stage. And everybody in the Peloton knew what they were going to do. They went to the front. We can sit back now and criticize that tactic. I like the aggression, but Pogacar is clearly better. And, today I think the Tour was definitively won by Pogacar unless something kind of weird happens.
I mean, look, you said it yesterday, Bradley. I mean, he's made us eat our words. And he did. I mean, look, we have been critical of the tactics, the aggression, the unnecessary attacks. Today he rode perfect, right? Let them control, let them try to make the race or make their race happen. And he just sat there. And what are you going to do? I mean, you got to go, right?
Yeah. But I think Jonas and Visma, they did the correct thing. They did what they had to do. You've been saying for days they need to open the race up at some point, which they did. And it almost looks that they played into the hands of Pogacar, but they had to try something different because, as we know, whichever way they race, Pogacar's got the jump on him and the re-acceleration.
But
so
you wouldn't have thrown like one of your guys in a breakaway or tried to, like, instead of just using them all up. I feel like,
Yeah, but I mean, they're very short numbers anyway, and I don't think
they are
think
short.
the end result would have been the same.
Yeah.
I think we'd have still been left. If anything, that was the best exection of a plan they could have had to do.
Correct. We never saw Pogacar on the limit, even with that attack.
No. And with all due respect, they are just off, right?
Yeah.
Laporte is off. Van Aert is off. Sepp Kuss is at home. It's not. I mean, you can say you want to send people on the breakaway. By the way, the breakaway goes on the Perisword, right? That's not an overpass. It's tough to do. You still have to have the legs to go in there at the start. By the way, Mark Cavendish dropped today after 4 minutes of the stage. So he and his team had to ride the entire stage. We saw them come in.
He looked like death.
Barely making the time cut. That's what you look like, folks. If you saw him come across the line, which he did, look like death. That's what you look like when you've been out there all day.
George couldn't stop laughing at him when he came across the line.
No, I wasn't laughing. I was just. We know Mark's supper face so well when he's got the head sideways.
And he's on the drops. He was
on the drops. And I felt his pain. We've been there with him many times, and I think he's ready to finish his last Tour de France and go home and enjoy his amazing career.
He's got a rest day tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then a sprint stage opportunity the next day.
Couple.
Do you guys think if Visma was 100%, this team was what we've seen in recent years, would the outcome currently be different? I don't know if it would. What do you guys think?
I don't think it would.
No, I don't think so.
Because it ultimately it comes down. It's dependent on Jonas being 100%, and he's not. And we bigged him up. We hoped there was wishful thinking, but the reality is that where he was in April and where he is now, it was never going to happen really. And it would have been an amazing story had it happened.
Yeah, I'm with you, Bradley. I know. I don't think it changes. No. I think it's more exciting, right? I mean, if you had an informed Sepp Kups and a Laporte, and even at the bottom of Van Aert, you start to string this thing out faster and earlier, and perhaps you get rid of some UAE guys, which puts Pogacar on the ropes. He still, look, I mean, the times are going to speak for themselves. That there's no denying that. What he did up Plateau de or whatever, where did we finish?
4 minutes faster than Marco Pantani.
But what
4 minutes.
Some people are calling it the greatest performance in cycling history.
Yeah, and what I will say is, though, can you imagine if Jonas hadn't crashed in April and we had a full fit Jonas here going for Tour de France number 3?
Yeah.
Even if that was the greatest performance today by Pogacar, can you imagine? I actually think Jonas would have beat Pogacar in this Tour.
I agree. I think 100% Jonas and 100% Pogacar. Jonas comes
wins.
out on top.
Yeah,
agreed.
100%.
Wow.
Yeah,
Those are big words.
Which is why I think Pogacar chose to ride the Giro on the basis that he thought that, he decided to do the Giro a long time ago, because I wonder if he feels
and that one little thing, that paper. Lots of paper.
You mean for riding the Giro?
Yeah, for riding the Giro. You got that paper.
Yeah, tanti lira. Tanti lira.
Yeah.
You see that? Speaking LA, speaking Italian.
Did you get paid start money to the Giro? No, even after winning the Tour de France?
I never asked for anything.
Well, you're crazy.
I am.
I'm well aware. We can talk about that. By the way, Sir Bradley's coming on the forward this afternoon, and so we could talk about that. That sounds like. Well, now, why didn't you ask for money?
Yeah. Did you get money when you did the Giro?
Chow, please. Hell yeah, I got money. They backed that Brinks truck right up. I said, come on, more lira. I mean, they don't even use lira. I think.
Euros.
By the way, folks, lira was the old currency before the euro. Everybody's like, we know. A little controversy around the intermediate sprint. Binyan Girmay goes, by the way, I slid into Binyan Girmay's DMs last night. Love to have him on the show. Binyan, if you're listening, if you're president, if you're ambassador, if anybody else down there is listening, just send your fellow Eritrean a text message, tell him check his DMs, trying to get you on the show. But a little controversy. He made the move to go get some points, 20 points on available, or out there, and got relegated. Michael Matthews. He and Michael Matthews had a little dust up, and so he was relegated to third in the sprint. Still, nonetheless, got more points than Philipsen got. What's wrong with your ear things?
I don't know. They just shut off on me, but I can hear you guys fine. It's all good.
Oh, that's going to stress me out. My goodness.
Yeah, that was odd. We were actually all questioning why Bling was sprinting, but
I don't think he was. I think he was just following the wheel.
He was just following the wheel.
And I don't think he ever intended to come over Biniam, which is why he was gesticulating, because Biniam cut across him, and I think that was the point. He was like, "I'm not going for this sprint, so why are you trying to take me out?"
Yeah, this stage in the race, you get some people just starting to their patience are wearing thinner and thinner, getting more and more tired. People just get annoyed at certain things. So we're going to start seeing more of that in this final week. That's for sure.
I have it here in my notes. I mean, I write, I do think the Tour has caught up to this Peloton. Right?
Yeah.
Now, you can look at both sides of that. We just read the numbers, right? You have a record-breaking time up a climb by 4 minutes. So, you could say, well, what do you mean it's caught up? Look how amazing that performance was. I'm talking about the Peloton as a whole. I just think it's caught up, and I think that you see it. I mean, you obviously saw it with Mark Cavendish. You see it in some of the emotions and the tempers out there, but also it is affecting the dynamic nature of the race. You just don't have these, as we talked about with Visma. They're smoked, so they're not there to open up the race, and it's muting the race a little bit. All the while, Pogacar's just
Tade's doing Tade things.
Even yesterday, didn't you say, JB, that yesterday that was it 13 riders broke the record up that climb yesterday?
Yeah.
So right down to Adam Yates yesterday, Landa, everyone, they all broke. The existing record.
Yeah, we spent some time on it with Johan yesterday in JB Squared. It's these records are falling, but they're 20-year-old records. People are faster. Everything is faster. In fact, we even talked about Johan's 15-year-old son who was racing the last 2 days. Their average speeds much faster than when you guys were 15 and when Johan was 15. And I also asked him, I said, what were you on equipment-wise at 15?
Right.
Junk. And these kids are decked out like pros. So everything's is fast.
So Lance's time was 7 minutes behind Pogacar's time today. That was 20 years ago.
I mean, that makes you feel real shitty. I mean, like, I can't wait to go ride my bike today. I just suck.
So he'd have been coming in with Cav today.
I would have been with Cav and the whole Astana. I would have been on Astana again. It's like my worst nightmare.
Do you have Astana nightmares?
I have. Speaking of dreams and nightmares, we're going to get to this in a little bit because apparently George woke up incredibly inspired today.
Yeah.
We saw the blockbuster hit that he dropped yesterday. Him walking around in his tidy whities.
It's like a Calvin Klein commercial.
We've created a.
You had a dream, didn't you, George? You had a dream.
Last night I had a dream, and I'm not going to spoil it, but our next video I think might be even better than our last two. So
he drops his short film yesterday. He gets 300,000 views right out of the gate, and the man is just.
I got jizzies lined up for this video. Yep. I got dogs lined up.
Yeah. Well, we don't.
We got all kinds of stuff. This is going to be a high dollar production.
Something that made me laugh is after your underwear video. Your wife, Melanie, who just got here, shared it and said, I need to get out there right away or something like that.
I did send it to her for approval at first, and I got a good reaction.
Time to get to Aspen. Things are falling apart.
Yeah. I'll work on your sock game, too. That's gross.
The sag was good, though. The
sag was good.
Bottoms.
Yep.
I'm just kind of getting these things popping up in my head, middle of the night. I don't know what's going on with me.
No.
I want to bring up something Pogacar said in the post interview that you guys brought up a couple days ago. You said that when you're next to your rivals, you see things that TV doesn't see. He actually said that in his post interview today. He said, if you saw Jonas leading out, he tried to stand up and sit down really quick. Like that's a sign that your legs are pretty cooked. And that's when he went.
Yep.
I mean, that's something that he could see that maybe we didn't notice.
You just can't underestimate how well these guys get to know each other. They've spent hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours around each other. Like we did it. Everybody did it. They looked at us. We looked at them. You just start to know the little ticks and mannerisms of good days and bad days.
Like you said with Cav, when his head tilts sideways and he's in the drops, he's in trouble.
And you see it and you're like, I've seen that before. And that's, and you have to take advantage of that. You can't see it on TV. You can't hear it or appreciate it, but they know, right? It's like this sixth sense, and that makes perfect.
Well, as you mentioned it on the show, he was already pregnant when he went with 10K to go. Like he couldn't turn around, he couldn't slow down. He had to use his team arguably a bit earlier than he would have liked to. I think ideally you get to 5K to go, you go all in on the attack. Looking back, it's easy to criticize, but 10K to go, you do a move like that, he's on the wheel. The directors can see right away he's not really suffering. Like. Maybe sit up for a second. Okay, maybe he was not at this point racing for second, trying to put time on Remco. But if he's going for the win, you can't tow a guy like Pogacar over 5K and not expect him to attack you. So at the end of the day, I think they're going to look back and say, well, maybe we should have waited a bit or saved Matteo Jorgensen for a bit longer.
And we saw how crossed up he was in the finish.
Yeah, I mean, he was cross-eyed.
We talk about burning matches and Pogacar's burning matches, but I actually think now Jonas... Potentially, I mean, could he crack this week and fall away from second place?
Wow.
Because of the effort and the sustained effort he's been having to make, because today was a big one for him.
Yeah, I don't know.
And he's not got the conditioning and the workload to have coped with this.
The whole team.
Fair point. I mean, this third week.
So, it's now become, the momentum's changed again,
and if you guys caught that on the TV, I mean, there was a moment there where he just sort of dazed off, and he was headed straight for the barriers. I caught it, and then the commentators said something. I mean, he was cross-eyed. Those are matches, right? We get asked all the time, like, what are you talking about matches? Like, you see things like that, that's a match. Match got burned.
Yeah.
So this third week's going to be interesting for him, for Jonas now.
Now
he's
that would be
That's a scenario.
That's a scenario.
I mean, for entertainment purposes.
Yeah, but so now it becomes a battle. Evenepoel's going to be looking at him now, and there's now a battle for second and third.
Well, interestingly enough, Evenepoel's interview, he apparently yelled at his director because his director was giving him the time from Jonas and Pogacar, and he's like, I don't care about that time. Give me the time from behind. So these guys are now starting to think, I want to keep my podium spot. I want to keep my second place. I want to keep my third place. Let's not forget, the third week of the Tour de France is very hard. And we're bound to see one of these guys most likely have a bad day.
I did like his honesty on that. With Remco, they said, are you looking forwards or backwards? Yeah. And he said backwards.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah, I like his honesty on that. He's sort of conceding, but then you bring up this scenario that
No, but so now the hunter is now going to become the hunted, because we've got two Lotto Soudal riders or quick step riders behind in Landa and Evenepoel, and you've got Almeida. So you could have two UAEs on the podium. I mean, they're quite a way down. They're 5 minutes off of that podium at the moment. But, you have a big day in the mountains and a crack. Jonas could lose 3 or 4 or 5 minutes.
And let's not forget all the different dynamics of the race that are going to happen now. These guys can arguably have an easier ride in the last week because these teams are going to be working for stage wins, for top 10s, for mountain jerseys, for point sprints. That UAE can arguably have a bit more less responsibility and control in the yellow, because there's teams that are desperate. They're in desperation mode to get stage wins and get some successes and get TV time as well in this last week.
Today was his 14th stage win, Tadej Pogacar?
16th. I think it was 16th.
We're way off.
Coatland, give us the stats.
Yeah. I mean, you could see a way that he wins 2 more. He's going to win the time trial, I suspect. You'd see a way he probably wins another stage. Whether he gets to 16 or 18, whatever the number is, he's 25 years old. We're talking about Mark Cavendish breaking the record. Mark Cavendish didn't have however teen number stage wins at the age of 25.
Did he? Let's have a check of that. Because
we talked about it yesterday. We were curious about the number of 13, but now that whether it gets to 14 or 16 or 18 or whatever.
It's his first tour. He won 4. Well, second tour he won 4. Pogacar's got 3 right now.
Then he won 5. 9.
Yeah. Did he win 6 one year too?
Yeah,
I think in 2009. I was with him. I should know that.
Was he 25?
So so Pogacar's got 14 right now.
14. So you can see a world where he gets 16. Anyhow, I don't know. I mean, for you people that want to watch our show in 10 years' time or 7 years' time, I don't know, remember this day. That's a big deal. Today's show also brought to you by Ketone IQ. We often hear that fasting and exercise are good for the brain. HVMN launched the world's first drinkable ketone in 2017. Ketone IQ is their latest innovation on ketones with improved effectiveness, taste, and cost. And reminder, the CEO of HVMN and Ketone IQ, Michael Brandt, is going to be here in about 20 minutes talking to us about ketones, probably cautioning Sir Wiggins about not taking too many ketones in a day, perhaps.
I'll be the judge of that.
He's not a great listener. I'll just let you know. Also, they have an exclusive partnership with Visma Lease A Bike, and a lot of the other riders in the tour are using the product. 30% off your first subscription order, plus a free 6-pack when you use the link ketone.com/TheMove. Also today brought to you by Wahoo. I'll be using my Wahoo bike computer today, checking out those climbs. George and I are going to go mountain biking after this. They've got the summit feature, right? So I suspect I'm feeling good today. I'm feeling strong. I will be ahead of George, but I will like to know where the top of the climb is, just calculating how much time I'm going to put on George. This summit feature is going to pop up, and it's going to tell me, how long the climb. It also tells me how steep certain sections are coming up. So when I'm plotting my move to attack you, I'm waiting till the super steep sections. And then if we want to race over the top and go down, I'm going to have the map feature on, and I'm going to drop you on the downhill.
There's no way you're checking the map feature today going down those hills. But anyway, we can.
Also, too, this is really cool. A new feature from Wahoo, which to me makes just absolute sense. Music and GoPro control, right? So
Which I love. I use the music function all the time now.
So you make your ride more engaging. Also, part of their suite is speed play pedals. I've been on them for about 12 years now. I love that they're light and stiff and super aero. Dual clip in too, so it doesn't matter. You don't have to find the right side to clip in. You just clip in. You put your foot down and you clip in, and you can totally dial in the fit and whatever you personally like. Wahoo cycling products are trusted by the pro Peloton. We see Wahoo's Element Bolt GPS bike computer on the handlebars of 8. That's a lot. 8 World Tour teams. Now you can save 20% off on select full price products by using the coupon code THEMOVE2024 at checkout. That's THEMOVE2024. Head on over to wahoofitness.com/TheMove. Hey, George, I know we talked a little bit about how you slept last night because you woke up with a dream of making a new film. But overall, just outside of that, how did you sleep?
Like a baby.
I mean, it must be nice having. I want your life. I want to grow up and be George Hincapie. I realize this new film career is adding a little stress, but other than that, you have no stress.
Stress. I have to work with you every day. I mean, that's about as stressful as it gets. Our friends at the feed have sent me this new magnesium drink called Pillar, and I've been drinking it each night before bed, and I'm loving it, sleeping like a baby.
And does it work?
Of course it works.
Really?
Been seeing like it's my job.
Is that the one you left on the counter, like all your other drinks that are half full? I did take a sip of that. It actually tasted pretty dang good. It was the pineapple coconut.
Yeah, not only that, it tastes amazing, but it's $1 a day. And we just got a really nice note from Damien, the CEO of Pillar as well, who's
really
watching the show and loving every minute
dope.
of it. Yeah.
And $1 a day for a better night's sleep. I mean, that's... And they're from Australia. I'm assuming he's from Australia, mate.
Yes, he is.
You like your
Hung out
sleep
with him
down
in
in
East last year.
Australia, do you?
Yep,
Yeah,
absolutely.
mate. Maybe with your Sheila or something.
You probably do a better Australian accent.
Do an Aussie accent.
I'm half Aussie.
That's right, you are half
True.
Aussie.
We're going to talk about that on the forward.
Fair income, mate. Fair income.
Fair income. Hey, to all you Aussies, right, you have a bad night's sleep, have a pillar. And you know what you say when you wake up? No fucking worries.
And where do you go get it? You go to thefeed.com for 20% off Pillar.
Is that your Welsh accent?
Fuck off. What were we supposed to talk
Back
about?
to the move.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about the rest day and the next stage on Tuesday.
Rest day.
So rest day, they're
Much needed.
So they're near Spain right now. They're kind of there's like no hotels in that area. Plateau de Belay. I remember having most likely everybody rode down the mountain, right?
Yeah, we saw them at the end and they put their whistles on.
You got to ride back down the
They're
mountain.
still doing the whistle.
Whistle to a bunch of people that are getting in your way.
Group on put their whistles on.
Bunch of hammered people, which one guy got arrested for throwing chips at Pogacar and Vingegaard the other day. So coming back down the mountain. So last thing you want to do is run into a spectator. It's still stressful after such a hard day. And then they get down to the mountain and get on their bus, and some of them have to drive 2 hours to get to their next destination, or depending on the I haven't even looked at the transfer, but
on days
it's not
like
an easy
this,
day right now.
And on days like this, the yellow jersey tends to be back at the hotel before the riders.
Because they're hellion, right?
Yeah, because
Yep.
they get down in the car and all the spectators have gone off by then. But sometimes now, this stage of the race, it has been known that the ASO put a helicopter on, particularly to get off the Plateau de Bay.
Yeah, did you tell a story the other day on the show where you helicoptered off Alpe d'Huez to go check out the
No, that was in the Tour de France. The rest day for Verbier.
Yeah, Verbier.
Yeah, and we went to Lac Annecy to see the time trial. But before the last time trial of the Tour in 2012, we got helicoptered to the 2 or 3 hour transfer that they had in the bus. It took us 25 minutes in helicopter. The podium, the whole of the podium, because the time trial the next day, which was handy.
Yeah, that's a big advantage there.
Back to we get a lot of questions about these fans that get so close to the riders. We had this episode yesterday.
You had a helicopter every day, though, on the Tour.
I was moving on from the helicopter. Unless you want to talk about Magnus Cort, who hasn't won a stage, but if he does, he'll be helicoptering in his room. and he'll also be reviewing probably his really crappy hotel room tonight. Anyways, if you're watching this poor guy looks just like Jonathan Vaughters and threw chips at Pogacar and Vingegaard. And everybody was up in arms about it.
It wasn't like he tossed chips at them. He was shoving the bag in their face, which could have.
And we got a lot of notes about it. Folks, worry not. The fan has been arrested. All right.
Right.
It's been reported in Le Parisien today that he spent the night in jail. And there was some folks there with him during the day. And reminder, these people a lot of times certainly there all day, maybe even days leading up to the tour coming by. You know, they're partying, they're hammered. They're just having a good old time. And so one of the people that were there hanging out with this dude said he passed the afternoon quite drunk. It was a beautiful Tour de France afternoon with parties, meetups, and cycling enthusiasts right up until this stupid gesture. And the poor dude had to spend the night in jail.
Here's one for us. What's the worst thing we've all had shoved in our face or thrown at us during the Tour de France?
Piss.
I had a firework thrown at me.
I'll take pee. Give me a gallon of
Yeah, we haven't seen the smoke.
I've
bombs
had
this year.
roses and chocolate handed to me.
Of course. That's still
I
happening.
never really did anything to me
Yeah,
like
the
that.
Aspen Police Department started blowing kisses to George the other day.
Oh, have a great ride, George.
You know, I think that whole Opie incident with the
Yeah.
that took down the whole
that's right.
field. That's the turning point
Yep.
of them going
Yes.
after these
Yep.
fans.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a consistent thing now.
I think most of these fans probably don't pay attention to that stuff. This guy that to the potato chips, if you asked him what Omeopia is, he would say, what?
Yeah.
So that's not getting through.
No.
They're still going to spend a day or two on the side of the mountain having 18 gallons of rosé.
Do you think they will apply the same sort of strictness with the road furniture? Now, because they're just as bad.
Thank you.
Start hauling them off to jail.
That's the smartest thing you
There
said
we
this
go.
week.
Thank you very much.
That's unbelievable.
So can we pull up Tuesday's profile? Because I just kind of noticed something. They're going from, I'll mess that up. We need Alain Gruson to Nimes, which could be very big potential for crosswinds. Obviously, sprint stage, but man, if these crosswinds come in off the ocean there, they could be full-on chaos. So the guys got to be ready for some splits. And being the last week of the Tour de France, anything can happen. Guys aren't paying as much attention. They're very tired. There's more crashes. So.
Yeah. Well, this is down in that same region where the crossings we spoke about yesterday.
Yep, correct.
when Lance didn't wait for Contador.
Yeah, exactly.
That year.
Nope, that was me.
Yeah.
That was the same area. So it
He
doesn't
didn't have his whistle on. He wasn't whistling at me.
Yeah.
And by the way, it was a pink whistle. I mean, come on, man. What are we doing? I mean, I had a lot of moments in my comeback where I was like, you know, what am I doing? I see the dude riding down with a pink whistle, and I'm like, all right, that's it. Like, this is the dumbest thing ever.
When was that? 2010?
I don't. It doesn't matter. It was such a.
On a much lighter note, and we're going to get to some good emails here, and
Because the pink whistle wasn't a light note.
no, you're well versed on this because you read the article. Outside did that feature on the mountain bike jumpers.
Yes.
That go over the Peloton. They build these ramps and landing areas,
Yeah.
and you'll see them flying 30 feet over the Peloton.
It's happened before, and a kid set it up this year. I didn't see it while we're watching the race, but the footage.
Yeah.
And to reiterate what you said, JB, the kid went out. This is not an existing trail, and that people jump across roads all the time. He went out and staged this and built the ramp, built the landing area. And when you see this, and he goes right over, it was a smaller group. He probably went over 20 guys, but you're watching this and you're like, I'm out.
Yeah. For those of you who watch the show on YouTube, and we can put something on socials today too. We put together a few of these jumps.
Yeah, let's see these.
And you can
these
get an idea.
lunatics.
It's just insanity.
I mean, here you're just riding along. Oh, I mean,
that is crazy.
This is the most recent one. Look at that shot.
Jesus.
Wow.
Now that one's even crazier, right?
And that guy.
Oh, that guy crashed.
Oh no, he's
no.
down. He's down. Look at this. Oh, now that's a bigger Peloton. I mean, you imagine
Yeah.
being on that bike?
That's so cool though.
And he was so pumped. But he built out all that. This most recent one, he had all that. He went and staged it. And
Oh, he
I mean,
did?
you got to find a section where you got to slow down at some point and try not to hit some trees. Yeah. I'm out.
And time it out and be ready. Red Bull's getting in the game with cycling. They need to hook this guy up.
Perhaps was funded by Red Bull.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to hear all the comments during the press conferences tomorrow, whether or not Jonas is kind of giving up, throwing up the white flag,
Good point.
fighting for the podium now, or if he's going to, stay adamant that he's going to try to win the race. I mean, like we said, the last week is really tough, but I feel like the race was won today.
I think after today, I don't think how he can sit there and honestly think that he's going to be able to win the race. I mean, at some point you have to accept that you haven't got the condition you once had or could have because of various things.
And how could you? I mean, nobody's going to know.
So he's got to be realistic. There really is.
Nobody can. And to your point earlier, I mean, maybe part of what he says tomorrow is like, hey, I'm feeling it, and I hope to hold on to second.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I mean, that's. I had not thought of that.
I mean, think about if this is our podium, Pogacar deserves the win. Jonas is miraculous for coming in and getting second, and Remco is another amazing story to be on the podium. Like this is it's a really good podium, and everyone should be pretty pleased. I would think.
Yeah.
And I've got a few emails here, and then I'll bounce from the seat. We'll bring in Michael from Ketone IQ and talk about all of that stuff. But here's a few emails that are kind of fun. Aaron in Bronx, New York, writes, a question for Sir Wiggins, Lance, and George. Does the Peloton stink? With so many cyclists riding so closely together, are bad odors a thing? And did you ever have to avoid a certain rider because of that?
Yes. There was a handful of riders that they had this distinct smell, and then there was on the other side of the coin, there was a couple of riders that just would douse cologne all over themselves. And you knew who they
Italians?
were.
Wiggins.
Sometimes Italians. Wiggo.
I always know when Sir Bradley's in the house. I'm like, he's here.
That is at the house, correct? But I didn't remember that when he was racing. But yeah, certainly some guys you'd be like, ooh. Funk train.
It's not. Cav used to douse himself.
Yeah,
with
yeah,
Fabergé, didn't he?
Yeah, he had the cologne on.
Do you say something to those riders like, dude, come on?
Nah.
I mean, here's the thing: is it's not as bad as you would think. I mean, and I think for the simple reason is that this is a 3-week race. It's the hardest sporting event in the world. Hygiene. I mean, this sounds corny, but hygiene is very important. Right. So guys are, rolling off the stage and doing a little, horse bath with a washcloth. Like this is the you have to stay
Belgian
clean.
shower.
Yeah,
Belgium shower.
Can I say? I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that, but you got to stay clean. You got to stay up on your hygiene. Otherwise, the stuff goes. We see how guys are getting sick. I mean,
Saddle sores.
I mean, I didn't want to. I thought I was already in trouble for saying the other thing, but yeah, saddle sore, that kind of hygiene. And you start to get a saddle sore in the first week, it's not going away. It's only getting bigger, and it's going to make the last 2 weeks absolutely miserable. So, kids,
those are not fun.
Yeah.
Scrub those taints.
Yeah.
All right, that's our.
That's a new shirt.
We'll kick off the final week with that public service announcement from your friends at We Do.
New shirt.
Well, and
Scrub those tanks.
right. I mean,
There's an idea for a new T-shirt.
oh my, scrub, and we could do the
There you
bar
go.
with the scrub, the
Horse bath.
Or scrub. Jimmy writes, and I want to hear the story behind this. It sounds vaguely familiar, but Jimmy writes, to the King of Norway, after winning the World Championship, I don't check my mom at the door.
Yeah.
What? Tell me the story.
No, I won the Worlds in 1993, and my mom was there, and the King was there. Right? I didn't even know Norway. I didn't even know where Norway was, but I certainly didn't know they had a king. King says, I'd like to meet the winner, and we're walking in, and the secret, or the whatever they call it, the police said, ma'am, you can't come in. And I said, what are you talking about? Like, if my mom can't come, then I'll take a pass on meeting the King. I said, can't check my mom at the door.
Good for you.
And then the King loved it, right? The King was like, oh, no, we would love it. So Mom and I met the King.
That's awesome.
That's cool. That was in 93, by the way. Let's see.
Now, little did he know, right, that I am, 10 or 11% Viking, Scandinavian. He didn't know that.
You didn't know it at the time either,
No,
right?
but
Johan writes, we've seen this week that Sir Bradley's knowledge of tour history is extraordinary, and I have read the same thing about Sir Cav. My question is, who knows more, and who would win a trivia contest?
Oh, me.
Yeah, I would say.
Cav is knowledge of sprint stages, sprint finishes, towns where stages are finished. Not necessarily the riders who won there, but he can remember we finished at a stage in 2008 or 9 and remember the run in and the roundabouts and things like that. He in intricate detail, can't he?
Yeah.
He's very
Yeah, he can for sure, but not like the riders and the teams.
No. So it's a different
like you.
kind of
Yeah.
yes,
yeah, I think Bradley's got him there.
And Lance doesn't remember anything, even the races that he won.
These are the two ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
This guy remembers almost everything. I don't remember anything.
All right, one more, and then our interview. Lance, JB George, and Sir Bradley, which tour has had the most past tour winners racing? This is a good question, and I wouldn't ask it if you weren't here.
Is that We Do trivia? Or sorry, Ventum?
Yeah, Ventum?
No.
That's good Ventum trivia.
That is.
Yeah, and I've got to do that as well before I bounce.
You probably know more than
It seems this year with Pogacar, Vingegaard, Bernal, and Thomas racing. That's a lot in the tour of previous winners. With past winners being a lot younger, I wonder if recent additions have had the most past winners. Thanks for having such great insight on races. Love the show. Frank in Bondurant, Iowa. You've been there for Ragbri.
Yep.
Ragbri.
That's an excellent question. I don't know. I never thought about that. It's pretty cool. Right. So we have 4. Surely there's been other tours where there's been more than 4.
He's figuring it out.
I'm just going through the years now.
What year are you starting at?
Well, I was looking at because the trouble is you've got multiple winners of the races. So early 90s when you had Greg Delgado, Stephen Roach, Miguel Indurain, they would have all competed in the 1990-91 tour. So there was 4, so it was probably equally on par with this tour. But after that, then you had Bjarne Riis, Jan. So it's probably one of the highest, actually. Because then you go back to the Merckx era, Bernardino, Le Monde Fignon, they would have rode. So there's never been more than 4 or 5, I wouldn't say, but someone will probably write in and tell us.
That's a great question. Great question.
And quick Ventum trivia. We're giving away a brand new NS1 in a week. So
free bikes.
Yeah, you can enter every single day. Yesterday's question was, which Ventum employee twice won the U.S. Pro Crit National Championship and was runner-up at U.S. National
Steve Hegg.
Road. Travis McCabe.
All right. Aren't you? Did we ask that the other day?
This was the question yesterday.
I don't remember that. I do remember Travis McCabe. He very good cyclist.
Today's question is, what city and country was Sir Bradley Wiggins born? Might not be what you think. Go to ventumracing.com.
I think he said it yesterday. Or did you say it in the pre-show?
Yeah, no, I said it on when we were talking about the Belgians.
Little hint there. But Ventum Racing.
Bit of a clue there.
Ventum Racing.
Bit of a clue.
What do you know?
All right. Let's talk about ketones. All right, as discussed, we got Michael Brandt, the CEO of Ketone IQ. We got a ton of questions. Obviously, we talk about ketones every day. The Peloton is consuming Ketone IQ probably every day. But we get a lot of questions like what are the effects of this? What are the benefits? What are the best use cases? Let's just start at the top because we touched on this at dinner last night. One new thing that I think, or maybe it's not new, but it's new to me, is this idea around ketones for recovery. I mean, I talk a lot about how I use it before I go to the gym or before I work out, and we've talked about the riders drinking it in the race. But maybe this idea and the research around ketones and recovery could be interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot that ketones do. At the end of the day, ketones are high performance energy. There's calories inside of ketones, they're energy, and all the cells in your body use energy to do all sorts of things, whether it's muscle cells, brain cells, you're using energy all the time. For an everyday person, the way most people take it, the way my mom takes it, is first thing in the morning, just high performance energy. You can have it along with your coffee, your athletic greens, roll into your day. If you're a pro tour rider, a serious athlete in general, you have higher energy needs. You're going to have it throughout your ride, throughout your day. And we always recommend having it in a 3-to-1 ratio of carbs to ketones to really dual fuel, get more substrate into your metabolism, be able to power more, have more matches to burn later in an effort.
So not fasting.
Fasting makes your body make ketones.
Right.
And that was the whole insight I had in creating the business and the product, was that your body makes this magical molecule when you're fasting or when you're running low on carbs in general. And it's this magic molecule. So what if you could go and drink it? That was the insight that sparked things off 5+ years ago to get this rolling.
See, you got Sir Bradley's attention when you said magical molecule. Oh.
Well, not really. But, no, it was more when it crossed.
You know where I was going.
I like the crossing of the brain barrier. I like that saying.
Yeah,
that really got me going. That got my juices going.
The reason your body makes ketones is because your brain needs fuel. Your brain is an energy hog. It's only 5% of your body weight, but it's 20% of your energy demand. So your brain needs a lot of energy, and especially when you're low blood sugar at the end of a long effort, ketones really save the day and help you be more focused. And that's great. If we can help one rider avoid one crash on the tour, that's a win for me and my team. And just for your everyday person, whether you're riding and you want to stay sharp, or you're at your desk and you want to stay sharp, that's the main use case. But your initial question was on recovery, and that's where things get really advanced. And I think a lot of people know we have a partnership going with Visma Lease A Bike, and a lot of research there. And I think a lot of advanced athletes know, when you're recovering and we're doing a stage race over 3 weeks, there's a lot of energy that goes into recovery. And you have large energy demands, and ketones with the high performance energy help with a lot of the metabolic processes that go into recovery. Your muscles are rebuilding, your body's producing natural EPO. You're doing all these metabolic processes to recover. And it turns out ketones help with that. And that's an area that Visma Lease A Bike is super interested in. And we're doing a lot of research together on.
You're getting me excited about the ketones. It's interesting. Last night you mentioned at dinner that yes, you guys sponsor Visma Lease A Bike. You're the provider, but there's a bunch of teams buying the stuff. But one thing is like nobody likes to share their protocols of how exactly they're using them. So what's your stance on that? And what's the company protocol, so to speak, for athletes, one, and for the everyday person? I know you kind of touched upon it briefly, but that's interesting to me that there's no standard protocol for any of the Pro Tour teams.
There's always that edge. Like you want to they're not sharing all their secrets of every little thing that they're doing. I can say our protocol is really simple. Like for an everyday person, have it first thing in the morning, nice energy rise. If you're going on a multi-hour bike ride, have it in that 3-to-1 ratio. So you can measure it out in your water bottle or do a 3-to-1 ratio, especially with the pouches. Like every 2 or 3 carb gels that you have, hit a pouch of Ketone IQ. And then for people that are doing every single day, then you're really paying attention to your recovery. How do I have the supply the energy demands of what it takes to recover well, and then people have it after the effort and help them revitalize for the next day.
Wow.
Nice.
Also, we talked at dinner last night, and I think this is just super cool. Not that I go into a ton of convenience stores, but when I do, you guys are rolling out in a lot of convenience stores nationwide, right? And folks imagine, right? You go to the convenience store, you got the, these other, they have energy shots that are just, you wouldn't give to your worst enemy. I think that's pretty insane. Now we're going to start to see some Ketone IQ right there at the checkout. A much healthier option, much more effective option without the crash, right? That you could argue the ones that sit there now. You might feel good for about 5 minutes, but the man with the hammer is going to hit you at some point, and having Ketone IQ right there. So we can talk to the rollout, but note to the listener, keep an eye out. It's coming.
Yeah. What if energy shots are actually good for you, right? A lot of energy shots is kind of this deal with the devil of, hey, this is going to stim me up, but it's toxic sludge in there. What if an energy shot could actually be good for you? And that's our whole mission here. It's really exciting. Energy is a really important human problem. If you can help people have more energy, you can help them solve all the other problems in their life.
I'm down with energy. Imagine somebody's like, I don't really care about energy. I don't like energy. Who says that?
No,
Never I'm down with energy.
And so especially with our new, we've started launching like ketones
flavors.
and caffeine in different flavors.
Yes.
So we're nationwide in Sprouts. We're in every Equinox gym in America. And we're in Central Market in your hometown of Austin.
Yep.
And we're rolling out into convenience stores. So people are going to start seeing it more and more places. Obviously, you can buy it at ketone.com, Amazon, and you're going to start seeing it more bike shops, running shoe stores, in convenience stores as the months go by.
And folks, if you don't see it, and you go, go ask the cash, the whatever they're called, the cashier. Say, hey, do you guys have Ketone IQ? I need some.
If not, they need to get it, right?
Yeah. What's taking so long?
Yeah, we really appreciate our community. Those little questions, they add up. People listen, and then we get the call. And
we get a lot of questions. And I know I personally get a lot of questions. And everybody, I say, just try it. And everybody has the same response because, a lot of times people will try certain things. I didn't feel anything. The response is unanimous with folks. They're like, so they then go try it, and they're like, then comes the other text like, holy shit. Like, wow. That worked. It's unanimous.
And you mentioned that before. One thing we started doing is we make first shot free. So we got a little QR code on the back of the bottle, and every caddy, every case of the product, it has a QR code on it. So anyone with a phone number can scan that QR code and get their first shot free in any store that we're in, because we just believe in the product so much. People try it once, they tend to try it a second time. You're gonna love it. So give it a shot. And then just wanted to shout out, you guys really appreciate the show this year is awesome. We love being a title sponsor. We really appreciate all the community that listens in, watches in. We're number 1, number 2 show in all of sports. Like we're up there with New Heights and the Kelsey Bros. The one you guys starts.
Yeah. Listen, let's be real.
Yeah.
We are number 2.
All right.
And we would be number 1 if it wasn't for Taylor Swift. Now I know there's a lot of talk out. A lot of people love Taylor Swift, and a lot of people, not a lot, but some people criticize Taylor Swift. In this regard, we have to be a little critical, because if it wasn't for Taylor Swift, for sure, we would have the number 1 show in sports. So thank you, T Swift.
Yes.
And I'm a T Swift fan, but right now, come on.
Yeah.
Right now, we're first place loser, which sucks. But anyways, Michael, thank you. It's been great.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We love having you on board, and we're massive fans of the product, and we use it every day.
Yeah. All right.
Cool. Thank
Well,
you.
we got a rest day tomorrow, and tomorrow is also not just a rest day. It's a very sad day for all of us here at the Move. Sir Bradley Wiggins
I'm off.
is flying home tomorrow. So this is just a plea to everybody listening or watching. Don't you still come back. We'll try to do good shows. I know the man was a hit. I know everybody loves him. I will tell a true story. I've known Bradley Wiggins for a long time. And over the years, I've watched different outlets for cycling coverage, and I will never. And as I watched Bradley's career, mostly on the back of the motorcycle, I always watched, and I said, and you see all the different commentators and all the other people, and we all sort of judge and have opinions about the folks on TV. But from the minute I saw Bradley on TV, I said, this guy right here. This guy's the best in the business. And I mean it. No, I mean it. I said he's the best in the business. And when I heard that he wasn't going to be back on another network, I called Johan and I said, Johan, let's get Bradley. This is, I don't know, I feel this. And he is. He's the best in the business. I was incredibly relieved when I saw him actually step foot in Colorado. I knew, hey, we got a chance. But it's been, if I expected things to be good, they were great. And that's really special. So we're going to miss you.
I'm going to miss you guys. It's been the best week of my life.
And that's a big. I love that, and that makes us feel good. So, thank you, sir. You got to run off. You have a hearing in front of Parliament. None of us here testified in front of Parliament, nor do I ever want to, frankly.
No, I'm just talking at the Houses of Parliament. So they've asked me to come in and talk about success. So
Yeah,
God
that's
knows
a
why
little
they
bit
got me in.
different than a hearing or testifying.
Well, I didn't
Give
want
the man some love. Don't end it on
He's
a
been in the
low
press.
note.
He's been in the press. I didn't want to dig in too much.
We've got a new government, so yeah.
Well, I think.
Motivational speech.
And if it wasn't for all this turnover in England and a new whatever y'all have, you still got the same queen, right? I'm king. But it's important, so that's why I don't blame you. Got to go do it. But we our fingers are crossed that you'll join us again.
I might come back for Paris. Not Paris, Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I'll start talking to George. We'll get that jizzy lined up. But Bradley, thank you. It's been special.
All right, thank
Thank
you.
you, Bradley.
All right, everybody. We won't see you tomorrow, but we'll see you Tuesday morning. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.